Hello everyone, welcome again. Let's continue our discussion on Python basics. In these discussions, I will try to give you some real life examples on the concepts we are discussing. Basically, it helps you to understand better and you can easily connect to the topic. Okay, let's get going. Now, before we understand what a data type is, let's first understand what a variable is. Okay, so a variable is nothing but a name given to the location where your data is stored. Okay, in the pictures here on the slide you can see a pharmacy, right? So in a pharmacy where medicines are stored in the racks, a label is given to identify and get the medicines needed, correct? So you will have the medicines in the storage and each rack will have a label. It's easy for the person, the pharmacist, to go and pick up the medicine. In a similar way, data is stored in the memory and it is referred using a variable. See, the name Arnav is stored in the memory and it can be referred by using a name of the student. Okay, that in a similar way, marks 95 is stored in memory and that can be fetched or referred using a total marks variable. Okay, take one more example. You are sending a gift to your loved ones, so you write an address, right? You write an address where that gift has to go, and in a similar way, a variable will be stored in the memory in a particular address. Okay, so it will have an address with which you can know where the variable is. Okay, yeah. Now let's understand what a data type is. So when you are storing data, which you know by now by creating a variable, right? So you store the data by creating a variable. A data type has to be assigned to it to efficiently manage the memory. Okay, you can see a school bag here in the slide. So a school bag you see has different sections. One for the bottle holder, one for storing small items like pencils, and inside the bags you'll have certain sections for books, for the long ones and for the smaller ones. Can we keep a book in the storage created for the bottle? No, right? So a storage is divided as per the type of items that can be kept. In a similar way, and assigning a data type ensures your memory is efficiently managed, correct? Called Python is a dynamically typed language. When I say dynamically typed language, while creating a variable, you don't have to explicitly declare what data type that value is. You can create the variable, however, at runtime, it is interpreted based on the data. Okay, it might be confusing for you, but you will understand when I create it in the Python and then I will show you. You can understand this maybe by example like an manual versus automatic transmission gearbox for a car. Okay, for manual you have to switch the gear as per the speed. However, for an automatic transmission, as per the speed you're going, gear shifts are done automatically, right? In a similar way, you don't have to explicitly declare data types in a dynamically typed language. Okay, so here are some of the data types in Python. The numeric data types are integer and float. Boolean is true or false. It has only two values, that is either true or false. And there are sequence data types, string, list, tuple, and then there is set, there is dictionary. We are going to go in detail on each of these data types in the coming sections. Okay, yeah. Let's first understand what an integer is. Integers are all the whole numbers plus negative numbers. Whole numbers are all those numbers from 0 and then the positive numbers from there without a decimal point, and negative numbers, less than 0. So all this category of numbers come under integer. Okay, a float is a number that contains a decimal point, 3.14, 1.0. So what is a boolean data type? A binary data type that has only two values, right? So if you take an example, a light switch, what do you have for a light switch? Either on or off. Only two possible combinations. Result of an examination. So the result of an examination is either a pass or a fail. Okay, let's understand more on these data types by using an exercise. Okay, by using this story. So Rahul, a curious village boy, so he has plucked one unwashed apple from the roadside tree. Okay, the sweet fruit made him sick. So and his parents rushed him to the village doctor. So he has a fever of around 101.5. So now they faced with the decision: should we take him to this distant city hospital because its fever is high? So I have the highlighted here the 101.5, and should they take him to the distant city hospital? You can guess what are the data types of each one of this. So let me then now create these data types and show you in Python. There will be a separate detailed video on how to install and configure Python. I will be using Visual Studio, so it will also be part of the installation guide. Let's get start creating the variables. Let me create a Python script. From the scripts here, if you click the plus symbol, you can create a file. So I'm naming it as datatypes.py. All Python files should have an extension .py. So and then I click enter. Now let's create the variables that we have discussed in the story. I'll quickly go to the story. So boy plucked one unwashed apple, right? So now I'm creating a number of apples is equal to 1. Okay, I'm assigning, so this is a variable I'm creating and assigning a value 1. So by now you understand, right? So when I create a variable, this value 1 is going to go into the memory and store at a particular address. Now let's understand what is the data type of this, because we just discussed like Python is a dynamically typed language. That means when I run it, by seeing the data, it will assign a data type to this, and we know one is an integer data type, right? Let's see that. We use print for the same. Okay, print is a function. Okay, there will be a detailed section on functions. What is a function, how we can create our own functions, but for now let's remember, using print you can just um, print the value in the console. Let me give an example. Print number of apples. Okay, if I run this, you can see one is printed here. Okay, it's a function for printing the output in the console. Please just remember that once we go to the function section, we'll have an in detailed understanding. Okay, now our aim is what is the data type of this value, right? So how do we know that? By using a function called type. So what is the data type, right? So the data type has a substring or subword called type. So just type is the function, you remember that. And I should know the type of what? I should know the type of number of apples. Number of apples, that's the variable name. Give the variable name and in the type function, and then you are printing it. Okay, once I print it, what is that you see here? Int. Okay, class comes under object oriented programming. It's also one of the sections that we are going to discuss, which is very important. An object oriented programming understanding is critical. uh, so now, number of apples is 1 and 1 is an integer data type. Now let's find out this value 1 is stored at what address. Okay, address you will find out by using a function called id. Id is, and then in id function you have to give the variable name, which is number of apples. Okay, now if I enter, right, so this is the address. So in the memory at this particular address, this value 1 is stored, and it is referred by using a variable name called envo underscore of underscore apple. Okay, I hope it's clear for you. Now let's create temperature. Temperature is the variable name, and I am assigning 101.5. Now similar exercise, print type of temperature, print id of temperature. Okay, it's a float, and this is at this particular address. Okay, and what is the other variable? Take to city hospital. So it has only two choices, right? Boolean is always two choices: true, false. Only these two. Okay, it is true. I'm keeping it as true since his fever is very high. So we will take him, or his parents will take him to a city hospital. Now print what is the uh, type of this, print what is the id of. Okay, right, so what is the, it is of type boolean. So you can see bool here, and it is at this particular address. I hope it's clear for you what a variable is, what is a data type. Very basic data types we discussed now: int, float, and boolean. um, yeah, that is it for today. Thank you.